All right, all right, all right. Et bienvenue à Decalog, série interactive dont vous êtes le co-héros, le co-auteur, série interactive, le co-auteur. Donc pour l'instant, on va utiliser... Attends, est-ce qu'on va utiliser... Alors, donnez-moi un instant. Pour faire donc... qu'est-ce qu'on va faire? On va utiliser donc l'intelligence artificielle. Hop, l'intelligence artificielle. Alors c'est intéressant, est-ce que là il partage table ou deux tables? Regardez. Donc on utilise YouTube. Ah oui, d'accord, voilà. Donc ça, ce sont des techniques suggérées par l'intelligence artificielle pour faire face aux crises d'angoisse dont je souffre. Crise d'angoisse assez terrible. Bon, là, ça va mieux parce qu'avant, ces crises d'angoisse duraient plusieurs semaines. Maintenant, elles durent quelques heures au pire. Enfin, j'espère que ça ne dure pas plus longtemps. Donc là, c'est un test que je suis en train de faire pour essayer de voir, comment enregistrer cette série, comment on va fonctionner. Il faut juste, donc j'ai enlevé l'image pour l'instant pour faire un faceless YouTube, comme on dit. Et pour essayer de gérer justement tous mes problèmes ici, parce que j'en ai vraiment marre. J'en ai vraiment marre. Ouais. Et puis, il faut faire le ménage un peu parce que c'est très, très fatigant tout ça. C'est très fatigant surtout de ne pas pouvoir travailler. Excusez-moi, c'est très fatigant. All right. C'est très fatigant de ne pas avoir d'argent pour mon projet Decalog sur lequel je travaille tellement d'années. Donc, le Decalog, ça va commencer par les illuminations. Donc là, je voulais vérifier ça. Il fait que ça, d'accord. Ok, c'est parti. C'est parti, mon kiki. Alors, pour que ça marche en français... W sumie nie wiem, dlaczego miałbym po polsku, spróbuję po polsku teraz. Attendez, pardon. Donc, finissons un premier truc qui est... Là, on a installé donc le plugin qui s'appelle Voice In. Je me souviens plus comment il s'appelle. French. Voilà, French. Donc, French, on va prendre le French de France. Le French de France. Et donc, c'est un plugin qui permet de dicter... Voilà, qui permet de dicter ici avec Gemini. Voilà, il faut cliquer là, voilà. Donc, le personnage central, Latao, Martin Latao, francision Latalo, Martin Latalo. Oh là, non, Latalo, Martin Latalo. Latalo, Martin Latalo. Latallo, Martin Latallo, Martin Latallo. All right. So we're back online. Sorry about this interruption. So we have decided. I have decided. Are you back here? Okay, I was streaming this. Now we're not streaming this. So I have decided All right, all right. Okay, well, let's start a new chat. So we start clean. So we're in Google Gemini. Google Gemini is the artificial intelligence developed by Google, by the Alphabet Society. And I'm now using it. All right, all right, all right. I'm now using Google Gemini to record and to transcribe my scenario, my script. And the script is called Decalog. Yeah, exactly like that in Latin. And it's 10 films to save the world. 10 films to save the world. It's a series of series, not to be confused with Siri, Apple's artificial intelligence, which, by the way, um, is not the leader. Apple should be the leader of artificial intelligence, but I don't know. They seem to be lagging, exactly like this broadcast. And so it's a series. Decalogue is a series of series. Like we had series. We had excuse me. We had the picture in picture, the painting within the painting. But before that, we had. That's interesting. I have to check the date, but I think the painter appearing in the painting, that is Van Eyck. Oh, yeah, no, not Van Eyck. Van Eyck. VAN. V. No, again, it's a Dutch painter, Renaissance. VAN and further EIY. Sorry. Oh, I don't know how to say Y in English. Okay, CK. Van Eyck. Van Eyck. Yeah, artificial intelligence, of course, has some problems with recognition of names, but Van Eyck or Velasquez and other painters, which one, by the way, that's very interesting, start appearing in their own paintings, in the reflections. But we have this, I think it's earlier in the theater. We have this, or maybe it's the same period, that's to check. We have this with Shakespeare, of course, who puts the theater inside the theater, most notably in Hamlet, but also in other of his plays. There's also the Spanish author Calderón de la Barca. And I think the title is, oops, sorry, I forgot that. This morning I still haven't finished my tea. By the way, I have no more tea, and I have no more coffee, and I have no more food, except for some rice and for some oats, and I have no more money, and I have no more money. I have no more money, and I don't have, and nobody pays me for my work. Nobody supports my work. Nobody supports me. I have no family. I have no friends. I have no job. Well, I have a job. I'm a writer, and I'm an actor, director, photographer with 40 million views as Google Guide, and yeah, other stuff that I do too. But I also create web pages, exactly. But let's get back to Calderón de la Barca, and there's another French author, Corneille. Yeah, okay, Corneille, almost, yeah, and he wrote The Comical Illusion. And I think, but de la Barca is Life is a Dream, La vie est un songe. I'm not sure about the title. I have to check that. So this is the moment where the the picture within the picture, the theater within the theater, and very soon in cinema we have the film within the film. The filmmakers themselves show, the Frères Lumière film themselves, and later the tradition of making a film within a film is very rich in cinema, of course. And we can research that. It would be interesting to research the beginnings of film within cinema. And so Decalog, our series now, is a series of series. It's a series within a series within a series. So Decalog is 10 films to save the world, 10 episodes of this series to save the world. And around this, we are building, in each episode, we're building the beginning of a new series. So the beginning at first is words. That's Shakespeare, right? Words. I try to repeat, but obviously when Gemini hears a word repeated, Gemini. Okay, you can repeat your own name, but when I say words, blah, blah. No, he doesn't want to, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't want to repeat. That's strange. Okay. But words. No, it doesn't work. That's very interesting. He stops. On certain words, he doesn't want to repeat. That's very funny. I can say, okay, yeah, life is very funny, especially Decalog is very funny. So there's a comedy part in Decalog, but of course not Kellogg's cornflakes. That's probably me speaking, being hungry and having nothing to eat for days and days and days, and being on the border of mental breakdown and total poverty, while I have inherited literally millions. Yeah, not so many millions, but millions he can repeat. But for some reason, words, he cannot repeat. Okay. Words. The beginning is word. The beginning, au commencement était le verbe. At the beginning was the verb. And so the word became body, but the word became action. So we're writing a series. The series is called Decalog, and the basis of the series is 10 films. And each film is a series of ideas for other films, for stories, these stories then become theater. Before cinema, there was theater. Hello? Oh, okay. Now he's interrupted. Okay, for some reason, he interrupted my flow, so I'm inputting this. Okay, and he's organizing this in his own strange way. But yes, look at this. He actually found Jan van Eyck, Diego Velázquez, Hamlet, La Vida, Life is a Dream. Oh, that's nice. The Comic Illusion, from a recommend process. Core 10 minutes episode designed to save the world. Yeah. Okay, so we continue. So yes, I've chosen English as a basic format. I've chosen English as a basic language. Although it is not my natural language, I feel much better in Polish. I feel also very good and very fluent. I'm also fluent in German, but I rarely use it. And French, of course, I speak perfect French. I speak French better than most French people, especially the assholes that live around here, around the house that I inherited from my mother. So yeah, this is the basis is English, because of course Decalog Who saves one soul saves the world entire. It is said. Where is it said? In Schindler's List? Nope. The first one to say that was the Talmud. And it's not exactly this quote. We can find the correct quote at the beginning of my masterclass. And so the masterclass is the first episode of the Decalogue. But before that first episode of the Decalogue, we have an introduction, a preambule, a sort of exposition of the theme, and this theme is called Illuminations. Illuminations with an S. Illuminations. Not eliminations, illuminations. Yeah, exactly. Illuminations. And this illuminations stems, of course, from what? From illumination. And what is illumination? It's a film by Krzysztof Zanussi. It's a film by Krzysztof Zanussi. Krzysztof Zanussi. Okay, never mind. So you will get the correct autograph. No, wrong answer. It's a philosophical concept that is probably one of the oldest concepts of religions, because in the film, in Zanussi's film, we have a Polish philosopher, Władysław Tatarkiewicz. No, but Władysław Tatarkiewicz, who exposes the conception of illumination as it is seen by Holy Franciszek. So Franciszek, Holy Friends t-shirt. Okay, we have a lot of comedic elements in this series. So yeah, so this series is basically Franciszek is also the name of the main character, Franciszek Retman, who is played in the film Illumination. He's played by Latauo, Stanisław Latauo, my father. Never mind the transcription. And you can see all that and read about all that on the page, on my webpage, on latalo.com. Latalo.com with 2L, 2LO. Latalo. Latalo with it. You can't get it right? It's LATALLO.com. No, double L. LATALLO.com. Yeah, exactly. Latalo.com. Okay, he gives it with one L, never mind. You have to put the second L. So there's a joke in French. You can find it also on my page, Goat Jokes, one of my pages, because it's a series. Decalogue is a series of series. Decalogue with a C is a series of series. But it's also a book within a film, and the music within film, and theater within film, and paintings within films, and it's films within films. So it's the double mirror, the infinity effect. And this is why I'm trying to create a butterfly effect, a multiplication of good, of doing something good for others. But that's almost impossible for me right now, because I've been trying to do this for more than 10 years. And frankly, I'm really tired of how difficult it is. Really, really tired. And especially I'm plagued with depression and panic attacks, anxiety attacks, which are not attacks, which are anxiety is like, it's like prison. Depression and anxiety is like prison. You're inside the prison of your head, and you talk to yourself. I talk to myself, and I hear the word. I hear myself speaking, and I know what I have to do. I know what I want to do. I know what I would like to do, but I can't do it. I can't do it, and when I try to do it, the world gives me The world gives me cherries. No, the world gives me exactly the contrary. The world throws stone. The world throws stones at me. It throws stones at me. So it reminds me of the parable in the Bible when the Jews came out of the Red Sea, and then immediately they were attacked by. I'm sorry, I have to check who did this. Who did this? And also of the story of Hiob. Hiob, Job. Yeah, you can call him Job. Yeah, that's great because I'm looking to get paid for my jobs, for my many jobs. I do so many jobs. I'm trying to get paid for my many jobs. Although I suppose my main job now is writer, and so I would like to get some of my stuff published somewhere, articles in journals, for instance. That would be really nice. So yeah, this is it. And so we continue with this story here, and I'm reading what he analyzed, but he didn't give me. So I need you to give me, Gemini, I need you to give me the dates for everything that is input here. And I need you to research other examples, about very practical examples of, the film within film. When was the first time that the camera appeared in front of the camera? And now we have Gemini, which is artificial intelligence, and generally we're living in a time of incredible progress, which I would like to participate in, but I can't find anybody who wants to help me. I mean, I try hard, but the problem is when I get like, it was yesterday I went to the production office, Agat Films, in which I worked for 5 years. 5 years I worked there. I made a film called Our Street, which was shot in the city of Lodz, Lodz, yes, the city of Lodz. And this city, and we followed the life of a working class family who is linked to the factory, who live on the street where the factory, where the whole family worked for generations, for 5 generations, when Lodz was the capital of textile industry in Europe, the hub between Eastern and Western Europe, and huge fortunes were built there. And we follow the life of this family who is completely excluded from, who lost their jobs, who lost everything, and they are also. Give me a minute. I did this film for 5 years, and I did this for this French company called Agat Films. Agat Films, Agat, A-G-A-T. Yeah, exactly. French company, Agat Films, and we were doing this film for Arte, and the film was also distributed in cinemas in Poland, but for some mysterious reason it went to the most important documentary film festival in Europe and maybe even in the world, IDFA in Amsterdam, IDFA, Amsterdam, exactly, and this, oops. Okay, so Gemini has written this. He written Decalog with a C, so please use Decalog with a C. Decalog with a C, and I mean correctly, really correctly, it should be Decalog. Decalog in English, normal, the English word Decalog. 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 Okay, never mind. So it should be the English autograph because I don't use Decalog in Polish because that was the title of the series by Kieślowski, Krzysztof Kieślowski. So we have some fun again with Gemini and the pronunciations of the name. But then I switched to Decalog with a C because it seemed Latin, it seemed universal. But I think the simplest solution is just Decalogue in English. A Decalogue, the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments, you can also, very interesting, this film was made several times by the same director, by Cecil B. DeMille. Cecil B. DeMille, you will also find a joke about this director and this shooting of this film. So there's also jokes about filmmaking. And generally, it's an umbrella concept for a series, for masterclasses, and film projections to save the world. Oops. And the illumination is the preambule, the how do you call it? The introduction, and then the first chapter is the masterclass. I mean, the masterclass is not yet the first chapter. It's the masterclass. It's the foundations, the knowledge that you have to be able to understand with your mind, right? But here we have Gemini that does his own stuff. Okay, so the concept of illumination is okay. Obviously, Gemini gets bored at some point and stops the recording, or maybe it's because I had too long in introduction. So let's go. Wait, first we read this. Okay, so he found the name. So Tatarkiewicz, Stanisław Latało, my father, Infinite Effect. Okay, this is nice. This is interesting. So yes, Van Eyck is the first. Thank you. For the use of a converse mirror, it's the Arnolfi portrait. Yeah, okay, so it's 1434. Notice the numbers. Diego Velázquez Las Meninas, that's much later. La Vida es Sueño is about the same time as Velázquez. The Comic Illusion is the same time, but he forgot, for some reason, he forgot Shakespeare. Kinetograph, 1891. Oh, the first, okay. Okay, the Lumiere brothers. So that's interesting because I knew about Kazimierz Pruszyński, and I knew about Edison, but here I didn't even know W.K.L. Dixon. But of course, the Lumiere brothers are known as the two people who invented cinema. Okay, thank you. The Decalog, English spelling, universal umbrella for terms of a series of series, distinguishes from Latin or Polish variations, whatever. Okay, so this is very interesting. We miss Shakespeare, who used we have Shakespeare Hamlet, but he didn't give me the date for some reason. Okay, and I have to say that I like the Decalogue. I like the Latin word. There's something modern and more interesting in it, I think, and it's also because it's not a religious Decalogue. Okay, we have really different terms in the Decalogue, and we also have different terms in the illuminations. So I invite you to my webpage, latalo.com. Latalo.com. No, he can't figure it. The voice recognition doesn't work. Okay, whatever. Latalo.com. Nope. And there you can see how the idea of the illumination is born in Azur Mazda, that is the Persian god, the god of light. We have the illumination as a philosophical concept as well in Jewish religion, in Catholic religion, of course, with Franciszek, Saint Francis of Assisi. I'm not sure if it was Saint Francis. Please check which Saint Francis it was, and precisely the illumination in religions. And we also have the Sufi in the Muslim religion, in the Quran. In the Islamic tradition, we have the Sufis, of course, since Islam was the Islamic. Sorry, we had this the Islam, the science, Islamic science, Islamic scientists at that era discovered astronomy, and also, of course, the library, the Library of Wisdom in Baghdad. So that's very important. And and so here we have some interesting reflections. But yeah, we're talking about cinema within cinema. So the moment when the camera was inside the film, the camera was filmed. So I think the Lumiere brothers, actually, I can't remember that there's a film where the Lumiere brothers filmed themselves or filmed themselves filming. And of course, I know some famous examples like Day for Night by François Truffaut. Truffaut. Okay, never mind. Truffaut, French director, François Truffaut, or the Polish director Andrzej Wajda, with whom I had the honor of working, Andrzej Wajda, and he was Andrzej Wajda, and he made this film Everything for Sale, which was also a film within a film. Let me think now about early American films where you see the shooting of a movie. For the moment, I can't think of anything except the example of. So that's an interesting example, an arc that I like to set up for this workshop series, the masterclass series that will follow the exposition. So we have the exposition. The exposition is the illumination. This is what I'm starting now. The illumination is what I'm starting now. It's the morning meditation that every day begins with the 5 or 6 or 7. Actually, science has defined, I think, 11 senses for the human being. And so, open your eyes. That's also a film quote, of course. A film that was made in Spain, and that was made later in America as Vanilla Sky. And so you open your eyes, you open your senses, you open your ears, you open your mouth, you draw out your tongue, and you listen to the sounds, and you stretch your body, and you yawn, and then the words start to come out. You start to speak. You say bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Or you say all right, all right, all right. And you begin the day. And next to your bed, there is a notepad with your wishes and a big glass of lemon water or other drinks that you may like. And so you write down your wishes and you say them aloud. And yes, my first wish is to help others, to help people. Because without people, you're completely lonely, like a finger up the butt, like we say in Polish. And this is generally what I feel like, except I'm just surrounded with assholes. I mean, the amount of insanity, of horrible behavior by people around me, by the people I thought were the closest people, my own family, my best friends, the people I worked with all my life. Just the behavior has been so horrible these last years, and so I have this really, really big phobia of people, which is very difficult, but yeah, I'm getting better. So we continue the elimination, then we stretch our body. We stretch our body. We get up. We start little exercises. We go to the mirror, to the bathroom. We do what we have to do in the bathroom with concentrating on, expelling the negative aspects of the day before. And if we remember any dreams, we can repeat them also. But in front of the mirror, we can repeat, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's very good to be positive, to feel positive energy inside yourself. Because whatever happens, whatever something positive happens or something negative happens, you're just better off. You're just better off to fight with this, to fight against it. And so you continue the eliminations. It's 10 steps. You can find everything on my webpage of the different exercises. Basically, it's inspired by different methods, most of all by Jungian psychology, Carl Gustav Jung, but also, Jung with a G, but also Arnold Mindell, and Erickson, I don't remember his name, which I didn't read entirely, but I read Jung. I read several books by Jung. I read, I think, two books by Mindell, Arnold Mindell, This Dreaming Body in Relationships, and Erickson I read quotes, but I went to several psychotherapists who use Erickson methods, and I think that's very interesting. And of course, that has been transposed later by people like Miracle Morning or Joe Dispenza or other gurus, which I do not count myself in. This illuminations method is something that you can use in everyday life and that you can you can use for your work. It's a practical method. It's something that will give you good energy. And so you can find the full method on my webpage. So then the day begins. I begin my day with drinking my last, it's not coffee because I don't have any more coffee. I still have some tea. It's not really. I have some tea bags, which I just had some of these last tea bags, and I really have no money, and I really need to find some help to make my Decalog series. So the camera in front of the lens as early as 1895. Le Photographe. I have no idea what this film is. Shakespeare, you haven't given me the date. Okay, but let's talk about this later. And so, and Gemini keeps shutting off things. Oh, because he's in fast mode. So we're going to switch him. I don't know if we can do this during speaking. We're going to switch him in more advanced mode. Maybe that will work better. And so we can develop our thesis, which is cinema as a total art. Also, of course, in the history of reflexivity, of mise en abîme, I forgot photography, which is very important. And we have some very early photographs. Ilse Bing. Hello. Oh, he stopped. Okay, shit. So we switch into thinking because first he was in fast mode. Okay, and there we go. Okay, now it works better. The title is established as Decalog, Latin universal spelling, and distinguishes from religious context and previous cinematic works. Very nice. Hamlet 1599. Le Photographe is already in the Lumiere Brothers, but it's in Photographer being filmed. Okay, we have Day for Night, Abre los Ojos, cinema references, Ahura Mazda, St. Francis of Assisi, nature-based illumination. Ah, okay. Okay, do not use tables unless asked to, and do not use bullet lists. And also, oh shit, what is this? Okay, Decalog, series within series, within series, the infinity effect, the mirror. Okay, great. Yeah, I did that before. Okay. Yeah, I customized Gemini here, but he doesn't, he seems to ignore it and to forget it. Okay. And for some reason, now he interrupts. What is this shit? Okay, I don't know why. Are we doing this? Is it working? Okay, I hope he doesn't interrupt me again. So we're continuing this idea of the cinema as a total art that encompasses everything. But that is actually a notion that was, it's interesting. It's my first, let's say, love story. It's not my first love story. My first love story, of course, is to my parents, to my mother and to my father, and then to my family. But and then I had some loves when I was a baby, when I was a kid, and also as an adolescent. But then it was the first I lost my virginity. Let's say not technically no, but since this decalogue is not for children, this decalogue is not for children. Okay, let's say the first girlfriend, my first girlfriend. Okay, so not to go into too much details about my sexual life in this presentation, which will be part of another presentation because we're talking about something intimate and very personal, which I don't want to share with children, of course, but I don't want to share it also necessarily with other people that I don't know, like here on YouTube. So yeah, we're continuing. So I had a girlfriend. We lived on Rue. Her name was Gwen. Gwen. I had met her on the metro, and it was a time when I was trying to make some money singing in the metro, singing French songs in the metro. I had borrowed a guitar. And I was playing very badly and singing some songs that I liked in the metro. That is not true, actually. This true story is, yeah, let's stick to the true story that she was with a guy who wasn't her boyfriend. I don't think, no, they were just together and she was helping him. Okay, let's say he was a singer. I mean, he was a singer and Jimmy was his name. He was a Canadian. And she was helping him get money while he was singing. And that's how we met in the metro at Montparnasse train station. Montparnasse. Yeah, and in this Montparnasse train, and that's where we met. And then I moved away from my mother's house, who was living with a Frenchman, Francois, here in Montrouge, the city of Montrouge. And in the city of Montrouge, I moved away from there and I went to live at Rue Boissière, where Gwen had rented. She was a bit older, and she was an orphan. I mean, her mother had placed her in, didn't want to raise her. Her father was unknown, and she was placed in I don't know how it's called in English, a place for young people who weren't brought up with by their parents. And then when she was 18, she got a job at the lawyer's office on Rue Boissière, on the street Boissière Street. Boissière. No, you can't get it right. Okay, it's a street in the 16th arrondissement. And we lived there. And what's interesting is that my mother had lived there on the same street with a friend, a translator, Michel Lisowski, part of the Lisowski. I mean, yeah, Michel was a translator who later, Michel was a translator who later gave me my first job in cinema with the great Andrzej Wajda on the set of the film The Possessed, adapted by from the Russian author Dostoevsky. And in this little chambre de bonne, like it's called, chambre de bonne, no little bonne, no chambre de bonne. It's a little room. It's a little room under the rooftops, and we lived there. And in the basement, there was a industrial basement, like a garage, a corridor, and there was little house, a little booth, yeah. And this woman lived there, Violette. And I think she still lives there. Violette still lives there. Violetta. She still lives there. And I remember she was interested in cinema, or she was a cinema student. She was a bit older than us, and she impressed me a lot with her theory that cinema was the total art that integrated all other arts. So literature, painting, and photography, of course, and cinema itself. And now, when we're continuing this decalogue, we're continuing this decalogue. We're continuing this. We have to say that internet is the mirror within the mirror of all things. The internet is the library of Babel, and now this library has become conscious, has become aware of itself. So the name Gemini is very well chosen. And there's a novel, a short story, a science fiction short story. I think it's by Frederick Brown, which was one of my favorite science fiction authors. And this Frederick Brown's the story is that in the future, so he wrote this, I think, in the 1950s. In the future, all the computers in the entire universe are connected. So it basically prefigures the internet, but of course, in space, in the entire universe, all the computers are connected. And when this operation is done, the first question that the scientists decide to ask the computer, I don't know if it's scientist in the short story, maybe not, because the first question, scientists, I'm not sure if scientists would ask that question, but let's say it's the scientists and they ask the question, is there a God? And the computers answer now, yes. So this decalogue of ours is basically, the 10 commandments, as they are written down in the Old Testament. They were not, the 10 commandments are twice in the Old Testament. They're not in the New Testament, from what I know, but they're part, of course, of Catechism of Catholic Religion. Catechism. Yeah, Catholic teachings, and we can find them again in Muslim religion. There we have the 10 commandments, and again, of course, also in Buddhism, which I forgot to include in the illuminations. We have to add the illuminations because the idea of illuminations is extremely important in Buddhism. The illumination of the Buddha. And this is also to be dated. So we have basically the whole history of humanity. This is not so much, it's just a little bit. And of course, now we have the whole planet we're in and the known universe and some interesting science fiction stories which you can now create with artificial intelligence. which is absolutely an incredible tool for us filmmakers, but will probably also lead a lot of people to lose their jobs. All right, all right, all right. So the illumination, the morning illumination, yeah, this, the elimination of urine and fecal matter through urine and fecal matter, but there's also the illumination, and this illumination is, of course, getting a shower. So you can have a cold shower if you're good. You can have a cold shower, or at least you can start with showering your feet or parts of your body with cold. The lower body is usually much more resistant than the upper body. And so you can start with the lower body. And if you don't like a cold shower, if you don't get used to cold shower, you can do a cold and warm, or warm and cold, is so-called Scottish shower. And then you should get dressed, write down, verbalize your wishes, verbalize your intentions, program yourself so that with every step. That's an interesting idea, because this illumination method is in constant evolution and everybody can adapt it for his own good, for his own needs. And so you can adapt it so it's really linked to your body, to the physical act. Okay, I don't know, fuck why he interrupted. To the physical act of walking and of being, of walking and looking at the sky. Looking at the sky is very important. Yeah, looking at the sky is very important. So when the student came too late to the school, to the Schule, in the morning, and the rabbi asked him why, he said, because I was running fast and there was a carriage and I couldn't stop the carriage, and then there was there was a man who tried to talk to me, and then there was I had forgotten my keys, so I had shit. Yeah, okay, I don't know what is this. The rabbi, so the student arrives too late at the school, and the rabbi asks him why, and he says, I was running, and then there was a carriage with a horse, and it was blocking me, and then there was this man, he wanted to talk to me, and I couldn't say no, and then I realized I'd forgotten my keys, so I had to come back. And then the rabbi says, but did you look at the sky? And the man says, no, I didn't look at the sky. So the rabbi says, so go out, go back, look at the sky, and come back again. I think that's a parable that is somewhere in one of the Hasidic tales, which is also a very interesting tradition from Eastern Europe, which, of course, the illumination is used a lot. But yeah, we're having this about Hasidic tales, not Hasidic tales. I know a filmmaker, Agnieszka Traczewska. She's a photographer too. She was a friend of my mother, Agnieszka Traczewska, never mind. And I think I will try to call her too. Please add her on the list of people I have to call, but that's for later. So now we're saying that the looking at the sky is part of the morning illumination and part of your daily routine. And so this daily routine goes until sunset. Then you make a moment of interruption. You can light a candle, remember the 10, your own 10 commandments, 10 or 11, as many as you can remember. And then you, in the evening and just before sleeping, you go back the other way around, the 10 commandments again, and you enter the dream world, on which we will also have another chapter. The dream world and science fiction are other chapters which are added at the end of this Decalogue. But the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments, are basically really in our reality, in our times, in our world, and how to To good actions, good deeds, how to make a mitzvah, a good deed for the world, a good action. That's something that is in every religion, in every philosophy, of course. And one other very important aspect is, of course, ooh, sorry about that. The illumination is going out, leaving the house and going to nature, because I had just written down leaving the house as an idea of just going out of your space, of your inner world, which is very important because of the very bad state I'm in. But this leaving the house is, I think, mostly linked to going to nature, to find a tree to bark on, a tree to piss under, whatever, but a tree, some nature, to connect with nature, because the idea of Francis of Assisi was linked a lot to nature, which is very interesting concept, animistic concept, I would say. Okay, all right. Basically, it's also a quote from a famous film, from a famous actor. The film is okay. The film is called Dazed and Confused. It's a film in the 1990s, Dazed and Confused. 90s, Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused. Okay, never mind. Dazed, not days. Yes, Dazed and Confused. Dazed. Okay, never mind. Richard Linklater and Matthew McConaughey appears on the screen, and his first sentence is "all right, all right, all right," and that made him famous. He invented that. So this is a good ad lib, and the repetition is also very important. The repetition, the sound, the words, to repeat the words and to repeat the actions and to walk forward, with every steps until you reach the night and the world of dreams. And so this story is about myself, Latalo, Martin Latalo. I'm not giving the Polish pronunciation here because it's really bad. And we can start now. Okay, how long have we been recording? Already half an hour of recording. It's really impressive. So we can now add some visual elements, which would be interesting. Visual elements. So we basically have Van Eyck as a start. Okay. So now what we do is I will try to change the stream, so sharing for a moment. And now we're going to share, I don't know if that works, we're going to share the whole window. Okay, the whole window. Now we're going to share a tab, because I'm not sure if there's not some stuff that I not necessarily want people to see. So we're going on search, we're going on Google search, and we're having here about the Flemish painter Van Eyck. And I really like to use Wikipedia, but we're looking for good quality tools. Good quality tools are here. Good quality, no, what I'm talking about. We're looking for large images. So we go into tools, and here we have large images, and we're going to use Wikipedia. It's interesting. So Wikipedia in French uses an illustration, which is quite obviously a different color. But we're going to use this color, this Wikipedia version, okay. And let's visit Wikipedia and share this tab instead. So we're here on Van Eyck's page. And so this is where the Dutch painter Van Eyck pictured himself in this mirror over there. I'm sorry. Yeah, the illustration is not so good because you can't really see it. And we're going to download this image. You can attribute the author. The author is Jan van Eyck. We're going to put him here in my Latalo folder. Where is the Decalog? Here's the Decalog folder. Let's do this in the Decalog folder. So we have some photographs that I made, which are part of this Decalog story. And here we're downloading this. And let's get just a little back. Okay, we have Van Eyck. Oh, that's a file. Oh, sorry. So it's on the National Gallery in London. And just to have this information about Jan van Eyck, that's him. So he figured himself inside the painting. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So you can find this on Wikipedia, of course. And so now we're going to do this. We're going to head to Grok. We're going to head to Grok, and we're going to, I'm not sure if we're going to open a new account here. Probably not. Just give me a second. Okay, so we're here, and we're going to attach now, upload a file. We're going to upload this file of Van Eyck, which should not be in this. So on Grok is very good, quick, and it has really great capacity. It bases on Flux by Black Forest Labs, and you have to disable he automatically starts doing a film, so you have to disable that because it's really bullshit. And so now we're trying to you have to put in the prompt steady camera forwards tracking shots. So also AI doesn't really understand steady camera forwards tracking shot into mirror where painter and subjects are reflected, and boom, boom, there you go, boom. Okay, we have 1 hour already. I'm not going to limit myself because limiting is it's exactly the contrary of what we want to do. We want to open our minds and our universe, but the writing process is about 1 hour, okay? The writing process is about 1 hour. And at the end of this I will teach you how to make images. Okay, what is this? Sorry. Okay, so yeah, no, this is very bad. Let's try without this. Let's try into the mirror. I like the dog there. So I think it's too much to ask for him, so I will do another, which is another prompt, which is just static camera. Static camera. Okay. Okay, wait. This is getting interesting. Oh yeah, this is very interesting. Okay, wait. So we go back here. I like the dog. The dog is incredible. He's where is the dog here? Okay, and he appears in the mirror. Wow, the dog is AI. But of course the mirror has to be reflected within the mirror. But I mean it's a start, it's something that is a start. It starts working. It's fun. So let's go back there. And I'm indicating here that I don't like this version. I like this version, definitely. Thumbs up. Tracking shot into mirror. So maybe it should be faster and faster and faster. Okay. Takes him a little time to do this. And there we go. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. So all this is very beautiful, but of course, it doesn't bring in bread. So we really need to bring in bread. So we're going to finish this broadcast in a minute or two. And so we have started with words, words, words. And now we have, oh, there it comes, the new one. The mirror is empty. So if you try a lot, okay. So what I will try to do now, I'm clicking on the reflection, which is very interesting too. So let's get back to, where's Grog? Okay, sorry, we're live here. Where is? Oh, here. Okay. So you see the mirror, something happens with the mirror, and now the mirror is empty, and there's this little strange silhouette that appears here. The mirror moves, so that's not good. So we have a little less time today. So I like the dog walking there. It's really cute. So let's do this again. And so I invite you to my website to continue this whole idea. And we will, so this is chapter 1. We talked about the general ideas of the Decalogue, the very general ideas. Okay, so is it on Google Gemini? Is it working again? Here it's working. Okay, okay, in the meantime, that's very interesting. For some reason, he created, okay, I can't believe that. It actually, Gemini, hearing my instructions, I don't know where did I put in the instructions? Okay, he must have heard it somewhere. Wikipedia, because he reproduced Van Eyck and he made another version of Van Eyck. So what we can try here is also another tool, but it will open a new chat. You can also go around this. So in Gemini, you can upload your files. It has a lot of, the problem, he does a lot of censorship. And so I will copy the prompt from Grok and see if that works. The dog walks forward, and this, okay, steady, continues, continued, steady, continued camera shot, same image, camera keeps going forward. The infinity effect. Film, what do you say? We have the basis for the film, and now we have the frame. So there's we've talked about the introduction, illuminations, and masterclass, which will give us the basis for the story. And then we have the 10 chapters. We will have 10 chapters. So the first chapter is called Children of War, or War Kids. And of course, it's about people dying in the war around the world. Okay, so I have copied, and sorry about that. Okay, there we have a complete invention here. Okay, this doesn't work so well. So we're going to use basically the same image we had before, and we will start working. So we will start creating this with vids. Vids is it's a new function by vids is a new function by Google that allows you to edit videos. So we're starting a new video, and we're going to add. So we have different options when we arrive here, and we're going to upload from we can upload from Drive, from Google Photos. So for the moment, we're going to make it simple. We're just going to upload it from here. Nope. Up. Yep, there it goes. Okay, and sorry, I should have changed for. Here is the video size. And so we're going to switch to portrait. And so it's going to do a little strange effect here. And there we go. Here we have the portrait. As we can see, the portrait is very interesting, but that's how it goes. Yes. Okie doke. Okie doke. And now we have going to put a black background. Yep. Okay, so that's the portrait of the Arnofinis. But now what interests us, and so we're going to add a second to this. And again, we're going to insert, I'm going to upload. So I think it went into the downloads folder, exactly. So here we have different things I've been doing. And there we go, zoom, there we go, it's there. Okay, and so now we've added the photo, video. And what we can do here, it's going to be, maybe it's going to be fun, maybe not. But let's try, because that's basically what we want to do. We're going to duplicate this. They call it a scene. It should, in cinematic terms, is a sequence, but they call it a scene. So it's 16, 17 seconds long. I can make this shorter. Basically, the reading time for an image is about 2 seconds. Zoom, 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 zoom. Go up. 15. There we go. Perfect. So it's almost 3 seconds. We have a 15-second clip. We need to change the backgrounds on the photo. So it's, maybe it should not be black, but maybe it should be white. But okay, let's try it this way. And so now we have a little clip without sound, without music yet. That will come later. So we have the photo. Oh, yeah, it has added some sound already. Yeah, he's still generating it, and quite obviously, I don't know if you can, if we go here to create the seamless loop. This is so boring. Okay, my computer is much too slow for all this shit. Okay, so this is not this. Okay, let's just, for the moment, let's just call it an experiment, because the tools I have here are not strong enough. Because the shot does, I don't think the shot enters the mirror, but doesn't enter it entirely. So we can use a transition. Let's use the classical transition of a dissolve. Let's make it as long as possible. No, let's make it, yeah, let's give this 2-second rule. So the image is about 2 seconds, and this is about 2 seconds. The dissolve is about 2 seconds. It probably won't give the effect we wanted, because this dissolving is not the good method, and also we can't show that here. So let's just share it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to download this as a GIF. Okay, so GIFs well, general image format. I'm not sure what it means exactly, but I can't close the window now, so we're waiting. GIFs are mute, of course, and also they're very practical because they're interpreted as photos. And so the photos are the GIFs, right? Okay. Oops, do not leave. I hope that doesn't mean I left it. Okay, wait. Also, I forgot to do this in the meantime. So on Grok, you can try many times the same effect. As you see, the effect is not so good. And the problem that even repeating the same prompt, maybe if I remove this, and now I'm going to feed this into Gemini and see if Gemini is better. Of course, you all know the goat joke, greatest of all time joke. It's on my webpage, Two Goats Go to Hollywood. And there you will find out the joke about the book and the film. I'm generating a video, so that usually, oh, sorry. So I did the same thing here in Gemini. So Gemini repainted that. This is crazy. This is something that so Gemini, I didn't input the image, okay? So he just generated it from his own sources, which of course are in Google, so that's a lot. And there we go. Gemini, generating your video. This can take 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, great. So we're putting out the next episode, and the next episode will be here in this house, the artist house. The artist house, which we're going to download, and we're going to, of course, the door is open. Oh, that's interesting. And we're going to in the meantime, we're here with Grok. And so we're going to prepare the 10 episodes of the Decalog, and so of love. And then the third episode for peace. And all the rest, the fifth episode. But you can find it. I'm not sure which episode will be the fifth. That's what I'm saying. Okay, wait, because we'll see here. He stops at the mirror. This is really annoying, and so I'm going to upload another file, which is my house. Here we have some other stuff I'm working on. Apollinaire, of course, will be a very important character in our series in the short stories of love. Okay. The dog has disappeared somewhere, and yeah, the dog is back. But the camera, okay, right. Camera continues. Okay, there we go. Boom. Boom. Okay, camera continues. There we go. Here we have our broadcasts. So we're nearing the end of this movie. So basically, this is the pilot, okay? And in this pilot, we have to go now to my website, latalo.com. Okay, my website, and we're going to do one more thing. We're going to go to Google Sites. So I'm using Google Sites, which are part of the Google ecosystem, and Google Sites are also, here we are on Google Sites, and on Google Sites we have the possibility of creating websites, which are basically which are basically free. They're free, they're permanent, and they're free, they're permanent, and they are sorry about that. They're free, they're permanent, and they're on Google servers, so they're very good for referencing. Okay, and so now we continue here. And here you can see, I will explain all this later, how to adjust all these elements, but it's very intuitive. It's very drag and drop. And here you have the 10 true stories. So this is a culinary episode. So we're putting it later now for the moment, but because everything has to start and has to finish with a meal, but also you have to eat something. But here we have the Decalog, and here is War Kids, the first episode, Short Stories of Love, the second episode. Here we have a photo I made for Vogue in Poland of an Italian restaurant where one of the short stories of love is set. The link to my Google Photos. This is our sponsor, made with Leica. So as the Lumiere brothers, of course, just before. So we are going to add them too. We have my films, we have Radio, the great Polish singer and translator and author Wojciech Młynarski, who is the father of my childhood friend, my childhood love, Paulina Młynarska. Lovecraft, chapter number 6, comedy, okay, and my grandmother and my mother. In the 9th episode, Susanna Ginczanka, Not All of Me Shall Die. And here we arrive at the Good Cooks project. And so what I'm going to do is here I'm adding a little text box. So the ideas, so the elements, because if you don't add the text box, the elements get glued together, which is actually sometimes interesting, but not necessarily. But yeah, okay. And now, for instance, you see this image. This is a testament. So the illuminations should be at the start. And this episode, Kieślowski used to say that you find the title at the end. So we're going to keep illuminations here. I like this photo. It was made with broken shutter. It was made with a broken shutter on my Leica M camera, and it gives this really interesting effect, which I animated with artificial intelligence. You will be able to see it on my webpage. So we're going back here, and so we're adding the illuminations at the start. We're rearranging the elements. As you can see, you can just drag and drop them. Bing bong bong. Sorry about that. And so, yeah, basically you can say that, of course, food is very important, because if you don't have food, okay, this has been said already, so we can throw this away. Like my grandmother, Babcia Kasia, used to say, the most important element in the editing room is the trash can. A very, very wise woman, and had some really great advice. And then my family took everything away from me that she had given me, and that's terrible. That's really terrible. Where is Van Eyck? He's not here. So we're looking for the GIF. So normally I parametered all this. Okay, GIF files are here. There we go. There's an untitled video GIF, and we have this infinity effect. And so the first step is the mind. Is the consciousness, which is also one of the basic foundations of quantum mechanics, which is doing that. So now this GIF, animated GIF, is on the first page. I'm trying to make it bigger. Okay, so it fills the whole page. Takes a little time because it's a GIF and also my computer is slow. Okay, oops, probably too much. Yeah, they cut their heads off or not. Okay. And there we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Yep. Okay, and now what we do is we publish this. There's an option which, come on, probably uploading the whole file here, so it takes a lot of time to upload it. So it will be interesting because it will probably make another version of this. And here we see the order is not quite correct of the illuminations. There's a first chapter. Like I said, the first chapter is the illumination. Oh, in the singular, not in the plural, in the singular. Oh, come on. And then we have the 10 episodes. Okay, sorry, we have to correct that. We have the 10 episodes, so the order is now not correct, but we have, this is the same episode, Shim and Spielberg. David Seymour Shim, great photographer, Polish Jew, born in Poland, David Shimin as David Shimin in 1911 and died in Alcantara in Egypt in 1956. And Spielberg, of course, the little girl in red. And then we have other episodes and other films within films, series within series, books within series. It's series within artificial intelligence style, making dialogue with artificial intelligence, and we're going to publish this, and then we can see the published site. And so now it's live online on my site latalo.com, and here you can follow. I'm just organizing all this. Yeah, the fade is weak, but we need some time to reprogram this and to recreate this, maybe with another artificial intelligence. And the dog, we must find the dog. And so we're organizing this. You will have 10 chapters, and it's really bookends. You will have chapters, and between chapters, you have different elements like master classes, workshops, documentaries. It's a smorgasbord, like they say in Swedish, a buffet with everything you can eat with your mind. So first you eat with your mind, then you have to find some coffee or some tea, and then you can continue this adventure. Short Stories of Love will be second episode. Rock for Peace or Music for Peace is the fourth episode. So the third episode, SOS, numbers are very important. Pershing is the sixth episode. Thou Shall Not Kill. We have the story of Ella Czyżewska, the story of Zuzanna Ginczanka, Green Planet Workshops, that's chapter number 6. And here we have a full presentation on my website of all the projects made with Leica, AI Kino, my own films, Green Planet. Here we try to reorganize. Here is Lovecraft. We have comedy. Lovecraft is a horror writer. We have publicity. We have comedy. We have publicity. We have my family. The script is in Polish. Some scripts are still in mixed languages, so we have to change the culinary session. And this is basically the science fiction series. So this is my testament for the moment. We have not a testament, but what is it called? A poem by Zbigniew Herbert. And then you can interact here. You can support me. You can buy the masterclass access. You can tip me on Revolut, and PayPal is not working yet. And here I will adjust the menu. You will have the menu, and if you go to this chapter, you will have theoretically you have the presentation of Decalog and how it's linked to artificial intelligence and how the different forms of Decalog are, how the different forms of Decalog have been. Whoever destroys one soul, it is as though he had destroyed the entire world. And whoever saves a life, one life, it is as though he saved the entire world, the world entire. The Talmud of Jerusalem, Sanhedrin 4:9, also quoted in Schindler's List. So this is the Decalogue. This is some project that I have linked with love, short stories of love. And you can participate. Anyone can participate. Anyone can join. Of course, for the moment, I really need some money. Here is a project, a documentary about the first Jedi, documentary and theater play. But you can also join in. You can also be part of the Decalogue. You can be part of this by just participating, by just, you know, calling me, contacting me, asking me about how the series is going, where the series is going, and if you want to participate, you can join in. You can be an actor, you can be a director, you can be a machine, an evil machine like HAL 9000, and you can contact me. All right, all right, all right. Oops, sorry, I didn't share the tab. Oh, fuck. Okay, so I have to share this tab later. Okay, this is, sorry about that. So one more take. So now it's 1 hour, 40 minutes. So we're sharing this tab instead. No, sorry, we're sharing. I don't know why he shared the tab. Normally he shares the tab automatically. Anyway, so you can go on my website, latalo.com. It starts with the illumination. So we have here the illumination here, and we present, it's not in order yet, but it's going to be very simple. The illumination, the 10 chapters, so the two introduction chapters, illumination and masterclass, and then we have the 10 episodes, and we have some additional episodes which will start the next ball rolling, the next Decalogue. So I hope you can read about all this. You have these bookends which I talked to you about, which you're still organizing. Okay, okie doke. Okie doke. We have these bookends. We have Alan Starsky, who was just in Paris. He's still in Paris, actually, but he's leaving today, and he didn't really have time to meet with me, which is a pity, but I hope I will meet him soon in Poland. I will call him. Okay, I'm going to call Alan first. I'm going to call Alan first after I take my shower and go out for a little walk. Okay? And just to conclude this masterclass, call to a friend, I wanted to listen to a message that was given by a friend in Poland, and I just wanted to know what she said to me. Monika. Many Monikas in this story for some reason. Okay. Is this linked? Macie chorobowe. Was okay. Okay, so another person who's too busy. Anyways, so we finish here. The next masterclass, War Kids, is coming up. Thank you for your attention. And we have a pilot. Now we have to add images and to correct the sound. But you see how you can make a movie in 1 hour 40. Incredible. And as the infinity effect continues, we will finish. No, so this is, which I didn't show you before, this is the other side of the website here. And here is our website, latalo.com. And yeah, and the next episode will also be about the music of Guillaume Apollinaire as songs. Songs for love. Merci, merci, merci.